Hi, I'm Clever Ghoul, but you can call me Nikki. Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. I really wanted to kick off this new year by playing a little bit and by doing a project that's just been in the back of my head for the last few months. Back in September, I saw Hozier in concert twice during his Unearth tour. He opens his concert with a song called Selby Part 1, which is already so ethereal on its own, but the lighting design just really kicks it up a notch. And it's so beautiful, especially during the part of the song where he sings in Irish. It was so incredible to hear it and see it live. I speak very little Irish, and hearing it sung like that was just, it made me tear up. I mean, if you go to a Hozier concert and you love Hozier, you're gonna cry anyway, but I just couldn't get the whole thing out of my head. So I knew I wanted to make my own personal tour merch with this particular moment in mind. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I knew that I also wanted to upgrade a jean jacket that I have. So that's what we're doing today. This is less of a tutorial and more of a walkthrough of my process, but I hope you stick around for the reveal. So with all that being said, let's get into it.
Here's what I use: an old jean jacket, a dressmaker's marking pencil and a colored pencil, detail paintbrushes, fabric paint, a projector, measuring tape, embroidery needles, an embroidery hoop, silver embroidery floss, glow-in-the-dark thread, seed beads, and wildfire bead weaving thread. First, I set up the projector and pinned the jacket to the backdrop so that it would stay relatively flat. From there, I began painting, first adding in the deepest blue, then more of a mid-tone blue, followed by some teal, and lastly, some watered-down white to start the layout of the sketchy swirl. Once everything was mapped out, I laid the jacket down on the table, and while looking at the photo, began to add in all of the white lines. Then I left it to dry before moving on to the Irish. I put a thick paper pad inside of the jacket so that I had a flat, sturdy surface to work off of, and then I measured out the center part of the jacket and began marking off the size and placement for the first part of the lyrics. I repeated the same process at the bottom of the jacket for the second half of the lyrics. On a piece of paper, I put down the same measurements and began plotting out the layout of the Irish lyrics, focusing on the first half and then making the second half on a piece of tracing paper. Then I used a Sharpie to put down the lyrics on top and began to embroider them. I started doing a chain stitch with the silver thread, but I didn't like how it looked and decided to start over with the glow-in-the-dark thread, using a chain stitch throughout. I continued embroidering off camera as this took about 10 to 12 hours to finish. I then decided I wanted to add in some beading for a little sparkle and texture, so I first put down some light blue beads and then some medium blue beads, followed by a few different types of clear seed beads. Next, I plotted out where the bottom lyrics went with the Sharpie, but since this jacket is oversized and I tend to sit on this part of the jacket, I decided to go ahead and paint on the lyrics instead of embroider. I didn't want to spend all of that time embroidering just to have it get ruined and dirty over time. Finally, I added in some final embroidered details, like this moon in the glow-in-the-dark thread and some extra stars in the silver thread. And then I was done, which means it's time for the reveal.
Here it is. I am really happy with how this turned out. I really wanted to use mixed mediums here, which is why I went for embroidery, paint, beading, all the different textures going on. I just think it really makes it a little bit more fun and interesting to look at. Now, the first chunk of the Irish lyrics up top that are embroidered, those glow in the dark, as does the moon. And at the bottom, I painted it on because I knew that as I sat down in this jacket, it would just like kind of mess up the embroidery over time, and I didn't want to do that. I also added some silver stars along the side panels of the jacket just for a little extra sparkle and a little extra fun. The Irish lyrics here are basically saying that although you're light and bright, you come to me like nightfall, and together we're transformed or metamorphosized. Although you're light and bright, you come to me like nightfall. It's the metamorphosis of art, it's a dark art. And that's why I wanted to add in the moon and the stars and have some glow in the dark elements. I'm thrilled with how this came out. It looks exactly how I wanted to. Sure, there's a little bit of some wonkiness with the embroidery, but I really had to rush to get this done in a week. And I'm not joking when I said this took me over 12 hours to do just the words up top. So I did my best, but I actually like how it looks handmade and unique to me, and it's in my handwriting. I wish I could play Selby Part 1 for you on here. I really recommend looking it up. It is a gorgeous song. Hozier is an incredible artist, and I honestly recommend going and listening to all of his music, but especially his most recent album, Unearth, which is where this song is from. Anyway, I'm really happy that I finally got to do this project. I had a blast, and I'm really glad that I finally got this idea out of my head and into reality. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!